Thanks for joining me today for the ECCFit strength workout. The ECC workout for strength is a 30-minute video and it is going to focus on whole body strength. We're not going to be using any weights, although you may add some hand weights if you'd like. I don't have any shoes on. If you're going to add some weights, you will want to put shoes on. Otherwise, we're just going to use our body to create a lot of strength and balance and flexibility today. As we're talking about strength, you may say, I don't have a lot of physical strength. Or maybe you say you do have a lot of physical strength. And I just think doing those things which we know to do, eating healthy foods, allowing yourself some fun foods at times, things that maybe aren't the best, but that you're not being a slave and an idol to food, being able to rest and relax, spending time in the Word so that you're getting a renewal of your mind and your spirit and body together. And so I think we all know the things to do to have a healthy body and a strong body, and you're here with me now, and we are going to work on strength together. As we think of spiritual strength, we are spiritual beings, and God gives us directions to be stronger in our spiritual bodies. And as we belong to Him, if you claim to know the Lord, He is yours, and He has access and ownership of your spirit. And it's a beautiful thing when we're walking in that each day. Sometimes it's hard work. Recently I had an issue with what someone I considered not a brother or sister, but someone who was fighting against me, more of an enemy, which was very sad to me, and I wasn't sure how to respond. You may be struggling in your life with a situation or a person that could be a brother or a sister, could be someone you consider an enemy, but God instructed me beautifully one morning from Ezekiel. Do not be afraid of their words. Not be afraid, though briars and thorns are all around you. You live among scorpions. Do not be terrified of them. Speak my words, whether they listen or not. And so you may not be dealing with what you would call a scorpion. Not everyone is an evil enemy, but sometimes that's exactly what's happening in your life. And no matter who it is, what situation, I believe God tells us our strength is in Him. And we speak His words because our words have no strength. They have nothing to offer that is anything that will change a heart or a mind. But we can talk with His words. We can use His words. And I think He tells us to do that, to have strength in Him. So I'm encouraging you to let the Lord go before you any situation you're struggling with right now. And let Him protect you and bring you through it. And use His words and not your words. And be strong. Stand steadfast. So this morning we're going to begin with a warm-up. Seated, we will end up standing in just a moment, but let's go ahead and warm up together. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and sit on our sits bones here, and we're just going to take some nice deep breaths in, and we're going to go side to side. Good. We're going to take a nice breath. We're just going to move side to side. And again, this is the warm-up. We don't want to start right into the strength routine. We want to make sure that we are warming up, getting the body ready, opening up the joints, getting ready for movement. Good. Let's do one more of those. You can see that I'm kind of flowing through this. We don't want to stretch yet, but we also just want to move freely and open everything up. Okay, last time here. Good. All right, let's take a nice breath in and we'll continue into some twists. So I've got my feet under me here. If this isn't available or doesn't feel right to you, just bring your feet out. That's totally fine. Or you can bring them underneath. We're just going to take a nice breath in, shoulders back and down, nice and tall spine. And we're just going to take some gentle twists. Use your breath here. Start linking the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Sit up nice and tall. Nice and tall. And keeping that core pulled in. So in life, when you're turning, bending, twisting, you want to keep that core engaged to protect that low back. So you can see I'm going back and forth. Okay, let's do one more set. Good. All right, let's take our hands inside out, kind of basket weave those fingers together. Let's bring our feet out in front. We're just going to stretch. Pull the navel in and sit back a little bit off those sits bones. Take a breath. And out as you come out. Elbows bent. Let's do that again. Take a breath in. Rocking back off those sits bone, pushing those hands forward. My toes are just firmly planted here. Good. Just a few more. Take a nice breath in. We're just warming up that spine and the core and the arms. Good. Nice breath in. Let's do that one more time. You've got the rhythm here. Use the breath now to link the movement. Up. We're going to come to our hands and knees. I'm going to just come to the side. I've got my mats crisscrossed here so that you can see what I'm doing. You're just going to stack your joints here. I've got my hands underneath my shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to take a nice breath in and we're going to round that back up and the gaze comes between the legs. And then we're going to come back to a neutral position. We're going to add the breath here. Take a nice breath in and the breath comes out. Good. And let's come back in. Okay, let's do that again. Rolling it under. Let the head just relax. Shake it yes. Shake it no. And back to neutral. All right, let's do that 2 more times. Take a breath in. And my feet, the top of my feet are just planted firmly. You can also curl the toes under. If you want to stretch those arches, that's up to you. Keeping the core pulled in. All right, take a breath in and out as you just allow the back to pull toward the ceiling. Good. And back to neutral. And let's do it one more time. Take a breath in and out. Good. Take a quick stretch back and just sit on your heels. Stretch one arm up, so I've got one arm underneath. Stretch the other arm overhead and reach it long. Okay, and other side, so the arm comes in. You're going to reach the other arm long. Good. All right, come back to the tabletop position with the navel pulled in. Joints are stacked, and we're just going to add on to this by reaching one foot out and coming back in. Okay, one foot goes out, so the toes are pointed. Keeping up nice and tall through the shoulders, just kind of pushing into that, relaxing the, I have a little bend in the elbows there, and back down. Take a breath in, gaze is down. So you have the rhythm here. You can just have your focus downward as you listen to my cueing. The other foot comes out, toes pointed. Good. Now let's go ahead and add the opposite arm to this. Okay? So reach it long and back in. Good. Reach it long, breathing out. And this is also a little bit of a balance. If this is hard for you, just keep one foot on the ground and reach out. Just keep the toes down on that side. Reaching out, reach it long. So reaching through the fingertips and the toes, really lengthen the body here. This is a stability position for the core and the back. Good. Back and forth. Just breathing normally here. And we have the last one on this side. Good. Nice. All right, let's open those knees and go ahead and put the toes together. If you can, sit back, opening the hips here. If this isn't available to you or it doesn't feel right, just stay up here. It's totally fine. Otherwise, we're going to sit back in those heels. And we're going to reach it forward on the forearms, stretching that low back and those hips as we move forward here. Good. Go ahead and push it up. I'm going to go ahead and come to a standing position. So if you're at home, it's time to go ahead and stand up with me here. All right. Hopefully you can see me okay. It's a little overcast all of a sudden, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. But we're going to begin into some squats here. So we're going to take a nice breath in. We're going to sit back in those heels. Okay, I'm going to actually come to the side here so that you can see what I'm doing. I've got a nice strong back as I'm standing nice and tall. The shoulders are back, the core is pulled in. And I'm going to sit back in my heels, okay? So we're not going to rock back over the knees, okay? And we're not going to bend forward. We're going to sit back as you're sitting in a chair, just seating yourself down. I've got a chair in the background here, but I'm not going to sit on it today. Take a breath in, and you may add the arms if you'd like here for some stability, or you can keep the arms on the hips. Good. Okay? So you have the idea now. We're going to sit back in the heels, and you can go a little further down if you want. If you have any knee issues, you're going to want to stay at the top of this position. It's a little easier on your knees, and just sit back. So go ahead and practice this a few more times. Sitting back in those heels. And the way you kind of know if you're seated correctly, if you can lift your toes, then you know that you're rocked back far enough to work those glutes and the hamstrings and the quads, the low body here. Good. All right, let's do a few more. Use the breath here. Good. Good. We're going to do about 4 more. Okay, keeping that core engaged. Sit back in those heels. Now, if you do have some weights at home and you have some shoes on, I would encourage you to do that if you're going to have the weights. You can add some bicep curls here. Sit back in the heels. Use the biceps to bring those weights up. Or you can also just use no weights and bring the arms up into a bicep curl. Last one. Let's do 1 more. Good. All right, I'm going to come back to the front because I'm going to add an outer thigh lift here. So we're going to take a breath and we're going to sit down in the heels and then we're going to lift the leg out. Good. Now this may not work for you if you don't have a lot of balance. You can just lift it a little bit. That's fine. Core's engaged. Sit back in the heels and out. Outer thigh lift. Good. And out. Also a little bit of a balance move here. Good. Sit back in those heels the way you did at the beginning. Open up those legs as you reach the leg out. The foot is flexed. You can point it if you wish, but flexing is fine. All right, let's just do a few more. And if you haven't done squats and this is too much, then just go ahead and take a break and stop and come back and join us in a minute. Good. We're going to just do 1 more here. Okay? Sit back in those heels. Open. Sit back and open. Nice job. Okay, just shake that out there. And we're going to go into some lunges. And I'm going to show you from the side first so that you can see kind of what's going on with my legs. First of all, you're going to want to make sure you're standing nice and tall. You're going to bring one foot out. The other foot's kind of at a forward diagonal. We're going to put our hands on our hips here just because we want to keep our focus downward here. We're going to take a breath and we're going to drop that knee down. So that back leg, the knee drops. And you have a nice little bend in that front knee too. Okay? So let's go ahead and practice that a few times on this side. You don't have to bring that knee too far down. But as you come down, you're going to see you've got a nice bend. This knee is behind those toes. Let's do about 5 more. Use the breath. We're working the low body. You can feel that in the quadriceps. Good. Let's do 2 more. Keeping that core pulled in. Last one. Good. All right, let's go to the other side. Now turn around and show you on this side. Take a nice breath. Make sure that you're nice and tall through the spine, that you're not leaning over here as you're dropping down. Core is engaged. That back leg is planted firmly. The front knee comes into a lunge position. And you're just going to drop that back knee down and back up. You can see the front knee is also bending, but it's clearly behind the toes, which is what you want. Breath comes out. Good. And again, you're welcome to, if you have shoes on and your weights, you can add some overhead presses here. That's totally fine. Bringing those weights overhead. We'll just pretend like we have some weights here if you want to add some upper body motion. Good. Let's do 3 more. Again, using our body weight. If you want to add weights, that's fine, but you don't need them to get nice and strong. Good. Okay. Let's come to the front. Take a roll back with those shoulders. Okay. Let's go ahead and come up on our toes for some calf work here. I'll show you from the side. Core's pulled in. You're just going to come up on the toes and back down. Okay? I hear a little crackling in my joints as I'm coming up on my toes. This is also a nice way to get some balance work in as you're strengthening the legs. You might feel like one of your feet want to come forward to kind of give you assistance. That's totally fine. Roll those shoulders back nice and tall. Good. Breath comes out as you come up on the toes. Let's do 3 more. Up. Good. Nice job. Good. All right, let's come back to the front. Take a quick stretch here if you want here. Just grab that foot. Another bit of balance work here. Arm comes overhead. Just stretching out that muscle we just used. We'll do a little stretch at the end too, but I will stretch the legs out here. Good. Other leg. You can also bring the arm down, hold on to a chair. I've got one in the back. If you have one handy, you can use it. Good. All right. At this point, we're going to come down back to the mat. And we're going to do some planks. I'm going to come to the side here and show you. So go ahead and lay down on your stomach here. Okay, and we're going to start out with just some planks. On our forearms, we're going to take a nice breath in. We're going to just bring our head into a neutral position. Then we're going to take a breath. We're going to roll the navel up and in, and then I'm going to come up onto my knees. And this is just kind of a modified plank here. And back down. Let's practice that again. Take a breath in, rolling the pelvis under. The gaze comes down. I'm up on my knees for 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's do that 4 more times. Take a breath in and out as you bring it up. Now you can also come up on the toes for this. That's fine for 3, 2, 1. Or you can stay on the knees. It's your choice. Up we go for 3, 2, 1. Try to keep that core pulled in if you're coming all the way up off the knees. A few more. Take a breath in, rolling the pelvis under for 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's do 1 more. We'll hold it for 5 breaths. Take a breath in, coming up on the toes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come down. Bring them up underneath. Take a quick stretch. Good. Let's go ahead and come to the side, and we'll do some side planks. Again, working the whole core, including the back here. So coming down, we're going to come to 1 elbow. And we're going to bring what's called a pike position here. You're not going to pull back too far. You're going to bring the knees bent into a pike position so you can see them here in the front. Keeping the elbow placed underneath the shoulder is important because you're going to be bearing the weight of the body. So take a breath in, and we're going to breathe out as we lift for 3, 2, 1. Pull that core in and down. Take a breath in and out for 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, if you want to add on to this, you can open up the arm. 3, 2, 1. You can also open up the leg for 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1. And remember, you can keep the limbs closer to the body if you want to. 3, 2, 1. Good. Up we go. 3, 2, 1. And let's do 1 more. Open it up if you want to, or you can pull it back in toward the body. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Go ahead and come up. Keep the knees bent and just take a nice stretch overhead to a nice shell stretch here. Good. And I also like to take my arms here. My hands come down and just turn gently, pulling the core in, releasing that neck, turning to the back, stretching that back out. Other side. Okay. So coming back down on the elbow, making sure that you've got a nice line there underneath the shoulder because you want to keep a stability position here as you're lifting the body. Pike position with the knees. Take a breath in and up for 3, 2, 1. Good. Core is pulled in. Take a breath in for 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's do that again. Now, if you want to start opening this up, you can. 2, 1. Okay? I'm going to open up. 3, 2, 1. These are the levers of the body, the limbs, and as you open them, it will become harder. You don't have to do this, but you can. Good. Let's do 3 more. Open it up. 3, 2, 1. Pull that core in, making sure you've got that elbow underneath that shoulder. 2 more times. 3, 2, 1. Last time, reach it long. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Bring the legs back. The knees come in toward the body. And we'll take a stretch on this side. Just breathing. Good. And I like to take my arms to the front, grab into the side, sit up nice and tall, and just take a nice twist here as you pull the navel in and turn over the shoulder. Good. All right, let's go ahead and come to the front and take a quick stretch over. All right, we're going to come into a boat position here. We're going to take a breath in, and we're going to just lift the feet up off the mat. So I think I'll turn to the side again. It's easy for you to see what's going on with my alignment. So we're on our sits bones here. If you move back further into the mid-glute, the sacral area, that's a little too far back. You want to stay up nice and tall on those sits bones. We like to start with this position here. Take a breath in, and then lift, and then you can roll back onto that mid-glute once you've got the position. We're going to hold it with our hands underneath, and we're just going to hold it for about 5 breaths, rolling the shoulders back and down, pouring the navel in. And if this is too much for you, just bring one leg up at a time. That's completely fine. Just keep the hands underneath for support for the low back. All right, let's take a breath in and out as we hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and bring it up. All right, let's go back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. How about one more? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, let's go ahead and do a few more. And this time we're going to take the hands off, bring them to the sides for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up. So we're going to make sure that we pull that navel in nice and strong as we get into this position. If this is too much and it hurts your hips, continue with the support underneath the legs. Otherwise, you can reach long for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's do 2 more. Take a breath in. Roll it back into the mid-glute area and breathe out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And last time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Go ahead and bring your feet together. We're going to just take a quick stretch here as we hinge forward. We're not rounding here. We're just going to hinge forward and allow those hips to release. Nice little quick stretch. And just breathe. So we are having some stretches intermittently here into the routine. We'll have a few as we close, but I'm going to include some as the workout is progressing because you get a little release that way. Should feel good. Good. All right, go ahead and come back up to the hands and knees. We're going to just do some good old-fashioned push-ups here. And I'll turn to the side so that you can see my form and what we're doing here. So go ahead and stack the joints as we did in the beginning for our rounding and opening. Knees under hips, hands directly underneath the shoulders. And then we're going to walk those knees back. You can bring the feet up if you want, or you can just keep the feet onto the ground. We're going to open those hands about the width of a mat, if you have one. If not, just a little wider than your shoulders. We're going to drop the body down. Then we're just going to take some drops here. We're not going to come all the way down. Core is engaged. And we're going to drop and push back up, keeping a nice strong line from the head down to the tailbone. Core is pulled in, and we're going to drop it with the breath. Breathing out, We're going to do 10 of these. So here we go. Core's pulled in and drop it. As you come up, try to keep a nice soft elbow so that you're not locking those joints. And down. Good. So you don't want to hold your breath here. Go ahead and let the breath out as you drop. You're exhaling on exertion. Core's in and down. I think you probably got about 7 more to go. I'm talking and not counting here. Good. There's 6. Core's pulled in. 5. 4. And 3. Nice. 2. And last one. Good. Go ahead and sit back and relax it. Good. Let's go ahead now. That worked the chest and the shoulders. Let's go ahead and do a little work for the triceps here. So come to the, you can come straight if you'd like. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see what I'm doing here. We're going to do a reverse plank, which is good for the back of the body, the posterior chain, the hamstrings, the glutes, and also obviously the back of the arms. So as you're relaxing here just for a moment, we'll take a breath in, and then everything will come up. I'm going to keep my head in a nice neutral position. I'm not going to hang it back. Hips come up, elbows are soft for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. We're going to do 4 more just like that. So take a breath if you need it, and don't forget to release the breath as you come up. In we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, we've got 3 more to go. So if your hips are kind of sagging there, just pull the hips up nice and tight so you've got a nice straight line. Take a breath in and out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do 2 more. Take a breath in, keeping the elbows soft so we're not locking. Hips come up, head is in neutral. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Last one. Take a breath in. Out we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Good job. Okay, let's go ahead and come into a nice L shape if you can see me from the side here. And we'll do a nice forward fold here. And just kind of release. Go ahead and shake those hands out if you want. Using a nice hinging motion to come forward. So when I talk about hinging, you're hinging from the hips forward as opposed to rounding forward. Okay? Take a breath in, and all we're going to do is slight bend in the knees. We're just going to come forward into a nice hinge position and stretch out that low back and the hamstrings. You can straighten those legs a little bit if you want. And just breathe. Good. All right, go ahead now and come back to the stomach, to a prone position. I'll turn to the side here. We're going to do some work for the back. So come down to the stomach. Okay, and we're just going to bring the body down here. We did this in a kneeling position in our warm-up, but now we're going to add a little more tension here as we're strengthening. We're going to take a breath in, and we're going to reach one leg out, toes reach long, and then the opposite arm. My other arm is in just a little square here onto the front of the mat or to the floor. Everything reaches long, and you're just going to hold it. 3, 2, 1. Other side. Bring that arm back in. Everything reaches long. You'll feel that hip bone push into the mat, and that's the perfect position. 3, 2, 1. Let's do one more, and then we'll add on to this. Take a breath in. Core's pulled up and in, and breathe out as you actually breath comes out. 3, 2, 1. Good. Other side. 3, 2, 1. Nice. So it comes in now, and now we're going to lift everything together. Now, if you have any back issues, you want to just keep it to the positions that we just did. Otherwise, you may add on to this and lift everything together, reaching long for a 3, 2, 1. Come back in, rest. We'll do 2 more. Take a breath in and out. Reach it long for a 3, 2, 1. Good. One more time. Take a breath in and out for 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Go ahead and bring the hands back. And I like to counter this stretch because you had an arching position there. You arched the body. I like to just bring it back into a little release to the front. Good. We're getting ready to end the strength workout, but we're going to end it with bridging at the end here for a nice little release. It's the stability and strength and relaxation position. So come on down onto the back and take a breath. This is supine position here where you're just relaxing on the back. Okay, your feet are underneath your knees here. We're going to take a nice breath in. Palms are flat, and we're going to pull the navel in, and as the navel pulls in, breath comes out. You're going to lift the hips. You're going to lift the hips. You have a nice line from the knees to the hip bone to the shoulder. Your gaze is up, so you're not tucking the chin under. You've got a nice straight gaze up to the sky, up to the ceiling. And you're just going to hold it here and breathe. Go ahead and roll it back in the way you came up. One vertebra at a time down. And we'll just do one more of those. We'll add a little more stretch if you want to. Take a breath in. Pelvis comes under as you tuck it. One vertebra comes up at a time all the way up toward the shoulder blades. And you can wrap the shoulders under here. Grab the hands. Basket weave those fingers together. And lift those hips. So we don't want to pop the hips up too high. We want to keep the line in neutral here as you've got a nice line from the knee to the hip bone down to the shoulder. Good. Keep those hands together. And feel free to come to the first position of the bridge if this is too much. This just adds a little bit more stretch into the shoulder area and the upper back. Good. Breathing. Nice job. Come on down nice and slow. Take a nice breath. Knees come in. We're going to rock back and forth on those hips. Bring the feet down. Palms come out. And we're just going to drop the knees to one side. So the feet are going to stay on the ground, but you'll come on the sides of the feet as you release the legs to the floor, toward the floor. Good. Relax and rest here just for a moment. Take a breath in and go ahead and drop to the other side. Nice job. All right, let's bring the arms up overhead and allow your arms to just kind of fall over the body and give yourself a hug. Oh, yeah. Feels good. Tuck that chin just a little bit. And bring it up, and the other side. We'll go ahead and come down. Good. Okay, I'm going to roll up, and I want you to stay just for another minute on your back, because I'm going to close in prayer here, and just wanted you to have a quick moment to do a little bit of breathing before you start your day or end your day. So as you're lying flat, go ahead and close your eyes. And try not to skip this part. I think it's really important to end with a cool down of resting and breathing. It just kind of seals the workout, in my opinion. So take a breath in through the nose. Go ahead and close your eyes and keep the distractions out so that you can take this last minute. Take a breath in and breath out. One more time. Take a breath in and out. Okay, last time. Take a breath in and out. And I'm just going to close the session in prayer. Keep your eyes closed and just continue to rest. Holy Father, we just thank you so much for this time to be together, using our bodies to honor you, to make them strong in your sight. We pray, God, that you would help us to move into our lives with steadfastness and strength, that we speak your words to others, we edify each other through grace, our speech, our love. but also when we do confront an enemy, that we stand firm and we don't look to the right or to the left. We depend on you to get us through and protect us, and we continue to speak love, speak your words. We thank you for this beautiful day that we have to move and live and have our being in you, and we honor you as the one true King. In your name, amen. Thank you again for joining me for this workout. I hope that you will try the others and just take this time when it's getting cold to have a 30-minute workout at your convenience. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time.